You don't just want a car, you want a sanctuary. Introducing the all-new Etheris with whisper-quiet cabin technology and an interior designed around you. It's not just about getting to your destination, it's about arriving inspired. Etheris. Move beautifully.
You don't just want a car, you want a sanctuary. Introducing the all-new Etheris. Never hang your crochet on the wall like everyone else does, because right now, if you're just draping a granny square over a nail, you're leaving so much potential on the table. There's a whole world of wall-hanging ideas that most people never even try, and by the end of this video, you're going to want to remake your entire wall. Once you've got your panel done, the hanging part matters as much as the crochet part. A lot of people skip this step and just throw a piece of string through the top, and it ends up looking cheap. Instead, grab a wooden dowel, a chopstick, even a sturdy stick from outside works fine if you clean it up. Fold the top edge of your crochet piece over the dowel and either sew it down or crochet a row of loops along the top, specifically designed to slide the dowel through. Then tie a string to each end of the dowel. This one change, using a dowel instead of just a nail through the yarn, instantly makes anything look more like home decor and less like a craft project sitting in a drawer. Now let's talk texture combos, because this is where things get more interesting. A lot of the best wall hangings you see online aren't one stitch pattern, they're a mix. Think about doing the top half in a tight, dense stitch and then letting the bottom half open up into a looser, lacy pattern, almost like the piece is unraveling on purpose. This creates a sense of movement, like the piece has a top that's structured and a bottom that flows. You can do this with something as simple as double crochet on top, then switching to a chain and shell pattern lower down, then finishing with long strands of fringe. This one design idea alone can turn a boring square into something that looks like it belongs in a magazine. Speaking of fringe, let's talk about that for a second, because it trips people up. Fringe isn't just for the bottom. You can add fringe along the sides, mix different lengths, or even braid sections of it together for a different look. If you want a boho feel, uneven fringe lengths actually look more natural and intentional than perfectly even ones. Cut your fringe pieces a bit longer than you think you need, attach them, then trim them all together at the end once they're hanging. That way you get a clean line at the bottom instead of a jagged mess. Now let's move into shapes, because flat rectangles aren't the only option. Circles are one of my favorite shapes for wall hangings because they're so different from what most people expect. A crochet mandala, which is just a circular piece made in rounds, looks amazing on its own or grouped in a cluster of 2 or 3 different sizes. The nice thing about circles is you can make them without any fringe at all and they still look finished because the round shape itself feels complete. If you want to add a bit more interest, crochet a small ring or dowel inside the circle so it has some structure and doesn't sag over time. Another shape worth trying is the diamond or the pendant shape, like a little flag. These work great in a row, almost like a crochet garland, but flat against the wall instead of hanging loose. You make several small diamond or triangle shapes, then sew or crochet them together along the top edge and hang the whole strip horizontally. This is a great project if you've got a bunch of leftover yarn in different colors, because each shape can be a different color and it turns your scrap yarn problem into a design feature instead of something you're hiding. If you've ever finished a crochet project and thought, okay, now what do I do with this? This video is for you. Wall hangings are one of the most underrated things you can make with a hook and some yarn. They're fast, they use up scrap yarn, and they make your room look like you actually know what you're doing. Today, I'm going through a bunch of wall hanging ideas, from super easy ones you can finish in an afternoon to bigger statement pieces that'll make your friends ask where you bought it. Stick around, because I saved my favorite one for last, and it's not what you'd expect. So here's the problem a lot of people run into. You learn to crochet, you make a few scarves, maybe a hat, and then you kind of hit a wall. Not literally, but you start wondering what else you can even make. Home decor feels like a big jump. You see these fancy macrame-style wall hangings online and think, that's not crochet, that's a different skill completely. And on top of that, a lot of tutorials either give you something way too complicated with 50 different stitches, or something so basic it looks like a kid made it. There's this weird gap where beginner wall hanging patterns either look boring or look impossible. That's exactly what I want to fix today. Let's start simple. The easiest wall hanging you can make is what I like to call the single panel piece. This is basically just a rectangle or a square that you crochet flat, then you hang it using a dowel rod or a branch at the top. You don't need any special shape. You don't need any fringe if you don't want it. You just need a nice texture. The trick here is picking a stitch that actually looks good when it's just sitting there on its own. A plain single crochet square can look kind of flat and boring on a wall, so instead try something with texture, like a moss stitch, a shell stitch, or even just alternating rows of front post and back post double crochet to get ridges. Those little bumps and lines catch the light and shadow, and that's what makes a simple piece look intentional instead of like a leftover swatch.
You don't just want a car, you want a sanctuary. Introducing the all-new Atheris sedan with Whisper Quiet Cabin. Let's talk about color for a second, because this is where a lot of wall hangings either succeed or completely fall flat. If you use too many colors with no plan, it starts looking messy instead of intentional. A good trick is to pick one main color that makes up most of the piece, then one or two accent colors that show up in smaller amounts, like just in the fringe or just in a few rows. Neutral colors like cream, tan, and rust have become really popular for wall hangings because they blend into almost any room. But if you want something bold, doing a deep color like forest green or burgundy as your main color with cream accents looks rich without being overwhelming. Now here's where it gets fun, because I want to talk about mixing materials. Crochet doesn't have to be the only thing on your wall hanging. You can weave in things like wooden beads along the fringe strands, which adds weight so the fringe hangs straighter and adds a nice natural touch. You can also add small pieces of driftwood or branches as extra hanging points. So instead of one dowel at the top, you've got pieces sticking out at different levels with crochet pieces hanging from each one. This turns a single flat piece into something with actual depth, almost like a 3D sculpture instead of a flat picture. Let's get into something a little more advanced, which is layering multiple pieces to create one big wall hanging. Instead of making one big panel, you make several smaller pieces, maybe 3 or 4 different shapes or textures, and you hang them at slightly different lengths on the same dowel or branch. This creates this cascading effect where your eye moves down the piece in stages instead of seeing it all at once. It's honestly one of the easiest ways to make something look expensive and complicated, even though each individual piece you're making is actually pretty simple. The complexity comes from the layout, not from the crochet itself, which is great news if you're not trying to learn 10 new stitches. Now, let's talk about the piece that I think surprises people the most, and this is the one I mentioned earlier. It's the crochet plant hanger combined with a wall panel. Basically, you crochet your flat wall piece as normal, but instead of stopping there, you add a small pocket or loop near the bottom, and you place a mini planter or a dried flower bundle right into that pocket. It turns your wall hanging from something purely decorative into something that's actually functional too, since it's holding a plant. This mix of crochet and greenery is one of those things that looks way more advanced than it actually is, because most of the wow factor is coming from the plant, not from some crazy stitch pattern. It's a simple trick, but it makes people think you're way more skilled than you actually need to be for this, instead of seeing it all at once. It's honestly one of the easiest ways to make something look expensive and complicated, even though each individual piece you're making is actually pretty simple. The complexity comes from the layout, not from the crochet itself, which is great news if you're not trying to learn 10 new stitches. Now let's talk about the piece that I think surprises people the most, and this is the one I mentioned earlier. It's the crochet plant hanger combined with a wall panel. Basically, you crochet your flat wall piece as normal, but instead of stopping there, you add a small pocket or loop near the bottom, and you place a mini planter or a dried flower bundle right into that pocket. It turns your wall hanging from something purely decorative into something that's actually functional too, since it's holding a plant.
This mix of crochet and greenery is one of those things that looks way more advanced than it actually is, because most of the wow factor is coming from the plant, not from some crazy stitch pattern. It's a simple trick, but it makes people think you're way more skilled than you actually need to be for this. If you want the exact stitch pattern